Hello, everybody. Today we're gonna be talking about a a string of severe weather events that are going to affect the U.S. over the next coming days. First, we're gonna start off with right now, and right now we have a low pressure system that is in Nebraska, Missouri, dry, cold front. There is a couple pockets of showers and thunderstorms possible today, along with some winter weather possible. And then as we go beyond there tomorrow, some thunderstorms are possible with a low. Nothing severe is expected. Day 3, we are expecting a area of severe thunderstorms to occur kind of in here. So that's going to be, and that'll be responsible for bringing some pretty significant snow for Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan. And if you do hear me like blow my nose or cough, that's because I'm sick right now. Now here is the fronts. So today a pocket of thunderstorms is expected to travel across kind of the area. And then Sunday morning, we're likely going to be looking at very heavy snow across some of these areas in here, Michigan, Wisconsin. We'll likely have thunderstorms ongoing, but they won't be severe. At this point, Monday, we might have a couple stronger thunderstorms in this part of the front area. But everything else is going to be rain, maybe a rumble of thunder or two. Tuesday, we'll likely see thunderstorms, possibly severe, overnight across Texas and Louisiana there. Wednesday, Dixie Alley will likely see a severe weather event if trends continue. That would mean areas like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, maybe Tennessee and Arkansas. It just depends on the placement of the fronts and stuff. Thursday, maybe an isolated stronger storm along the stationary boundary. Friday, no severe weather expected again. Now, the stationary boundary will likely lift further north and will probably bring another severe weather event come around December 11th, which would be Saturday next week. Now, first, let's start off with NIMNEST because it's reaching in for the event coming up. So the event on Sunday in Texas, you're gonna have kind of this jet extension that's gonna come into play there, and it's gonna bring some isolated severe weather along with it. All hazards are possible with this. I actually personally went slight last night with this, and so that's kind of interesting. Now the NAMNEST doesn't want much instability at 18Z. Compared to the other models, we'll take a sounding right there. I mean, that's not bad. And this is 18Z, so we'll see how it evolves. And it has a cape pocket for the west. Yeah. It lets a lot more capping and less moisture advection. And the other, oh wait, no, it still wants good moisture advection. It just wants a lot more capping. So you can see here, we have moisture advecting in here, so that'll help increase the risk. And then the NAM, it's pretty similar, except I think it wants the moisture. Okay, yeah, it wants the moisture in a similar spot. Around 0Z will likely be the peak. And the NAM wants it to be closer to shore of it, mainly like the Texas coastline there. It looked a lot better with the 0Z run last night. Yeah, this is not, the NAM kind of crapped on it, doesn't look as good. Yeah, not as much instability with the new NAM run. I'm not sure why that is, but definitely doesn't happen as much. This is not bad. So it definitely could be like a downtrending event right now with this, but I'm not sure. It's just one model and just one run. You definitely see a lot of instability advecting into portions of Oklahoma as well, as they're going to have a risk with this. It's not a big risk, but it's in the marginals, so it's something to keep an eye on. And then here's what the NAM shows for Monday. So it actually doesn't think the cold front's going to crash that far south yet, and it still wants there to be severe weather on Monday, which is interesting. It has, looks like an area of 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of instability, and then along with that, it wants there to be some 500 millibar energy, and then let's see if it wants any 850 millibar energy. Not much 850. Now let's take a look at the GFS. First, we're going to look at the upper level wind pattern, and we're just going to look out for some things on it. And then next, we're going to look at the actual specifics of it. Let me actually look at the last model run with like surface data and stuff plotted into it. Okay, so here we go. We're just gonna wait for this to keep loading. Maybe I should have just preloaded it before, but so you can already see our trough for the Sunday event is starting to kick in there. You can see here it's this little thing right here, that little area. It's not a great trough because we have another trough up in the Midwest and stuff, but this one will provide a jet streak of, let's see, 40 to 60 knots is reasonable for that event. Monday likely won't have much severe weather. Then this new trough is coming down. This is going to be the trough for the Tuesday, for that Wednesday Tuesday event. As it comes down around hour 120, you can see it's pretty strong. Whoops, I went a little bit too far. Now we're going into Wednesday, and it's ejecting across Dixie at this point, and bam, it did its ejection across Dixie. And then the day after Wednesday, there's also another area of jet streak still there, and that's going to provide a severe threat as well. Now let's stop at Wednesday. Let's look at the lower level wind energy right here. You can see here we have a solid 40 to 50 knots across the whole warm sector there. Let's look at the very upper level wind energy. And we also see we have a pretty strong upper level belt as well of wind. Let's look at the 500 height anomaly. Looks like we have a negative tilt right there. Now, let's look at the moisture content that is provided. So the moisture content provided dew points in the 70s and 60s, so that'll be enough for sure. The theta E margins, let's see what those are going to be. The 300s, the 340s, that's pretty solid as well. So it's just a regular precip there. So looks like this system right here, this system brought all the snow. It's kind of what's trailing this system, and then this low pressure also has stuff to do with this system, so it's kind of double trailed right there. This low pressure system is likely going to bring pretty significant snow to like portions of Wisconsin, Michigan, maybe Illinois and Indiana, and then Minnesota, North Dakota as well, and South Dakota. If we're looking at the instability, solid amounts, let me go back to 21Z, probably a little bit better. Yeah, solid amounts of instability there. So that'll definitely help the event out too. Now let's go to the next day. And again, the instability is still very well there. You still very well have very good dew points. You have a strong 850 millibar wind field, I'm pretty sure. Yep, you do. And you have pretty strong 500 millibar winds as well. Now, by Friday, this does end up going out, but we end up seeing a monster trough come in. Pretty significant trough ends up coming in here. This monster trough could bring an interesting severe weather event around 210 hours out, but it's pretty far out still. So there's a lot that we don't know about it yet. So at this point, this is a very classic look for Dixie and kind of the Midwest Ohio Valley region. So anywhere, if this solution would play out, anywhere realistically in here would have a shot at seeing severe weather. So from central Illinois into Louisiana and Texas and Mississippi, Alabama. Now looking dew point wise at this, we have a large area of 60 plus dew points with a huge warm sector from Michigan all the way from the Gulf of Mexico that's bringing all the moisture up all the way into Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Now, it's very hard to get 60 plus dew points this far north this time of the year, so I'm not exactly buying into this solution right now, but looks very interesting. Now, the 60 run, it had the system with dew points that far north again, but has a little bit more, looking a little bit more different. It's a little bit more kind of horizontal, not horizontal, but kind of diagonal. It still has that moisture flow going all the way up into Ohio and PA, but the trough is a little bit different. I'm pretty sure, cause let's see here. Yeah, the trough is a bit different with this run. It's not as compact and it's more widespread. Now, this run also does not have the Wednesday event as prevalent, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it does not look as good at all. And it definitely doesn't look very good at all. Yeah, the wind barbs aren't very good. It looks pretty trash. So it definitely screws over a couple events here. Maybe because it's partly because of the moisture return not being as good. I don't know. Let's go on to the GDPS, then we're gonna go on to the Euro. Let's just go way up. So the GDPS, this bottle is going a bit hype for an event that, for the event that the GFS is going pretty hype for. So I'll just show you that in a second here. So as this loads here, it's hour 72 right there, so we still have that strong jet streak for the event on Sunday. And we see that trough coming down for Tuesday. It does not look very good, or it doesn't look great. And then we can definitely see here, you have a good amount of wind, you have a good amount of jet stream winds on went for the Wednesday event, but if we tune over to the moisture here, the Canadian model wants all the moisture to be mainly in the Florida area, and it wants like the system to be kind of spread out a little bit more. So it doesn't really want any event unless you're talking about like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Florida. Now, another thing that is pretty well interesting with this is if we go on more. Here comes down that really significant trough, and if you see here, it just starts strengthening. Bam. And then bam. And that's what it looks like around the time that we'd be getting, if this were to occur, we'd be getting a really significant severe weather event in Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, those areas. Again, excuse my cough, but these areas would be in the red zone there. Very strong low-level jet as well, 80 knots, but this likely will not happen. This is a possibility to happen, but this is like the most extreme solution with this event. Look at that. Look at that drop there. Very warm temperatures for this time of the year, especially in Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. Doesn't get that warm very often. If we look at actual temperatures here, we see we have 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way down there. And then bam, we have a string of 60 dew points with a very strong low pressure system. And then if we look at the precipitation anomaly, very, very heavy snow on one side. And then if this were to occur, if there'd be severe weather with that low pressure and further southward. As we move along here, it keeps tracking eastward and it keeps bringing more moisture up, and then the next day it brings probably some isolated severe weather to the northeast if this were to occur. Now let's look at the Euro solution with this event. Now the Euro has been the one model that has not really showed the event that's 200 plus hours out that great. With the new run, it did show it a bit better. It's actually 3-hour increments now for people who have plus. And as we move on here, Sunday, there's that trough. Tuesday. And see, that trough does not look very good for the Wednesday event on the Euro. And then it actually ends up showing out pretty good. Let's go to 141 and stop there for now. So we're at 141 here. And yeah, it definitely shows a decent amount of instability that's being drawn up from the Gulf. Looks like a low pressure here and a low pressure here, with two systems and a decently large warm sector. Size-wise, not really up north-south, which you wouldn't really expect a large warm sector north-south this time of the year. Whoops, why am I doing that? Now, as you move along here, you see that the Wednesday trough, we have a new one coming down there for Friday, and bam, we have hit the day. It's more widespread, not as compact as the other models. It's also a weaker trough than the other models, which is interesting. And then the Euro does not put the moisture as far north as well. But it does have a sizably warm sector for this time of the year, and I feel like the Euro would be the most realistic solution at this point. But it definitely could change, and maybe the GFS or the Canadian does play out. Now let's go on to the GEFS on College of DuPage, and let's look at that. Let's first look at its mean wind plotting. So that first event, we're expecting so there's mean winds with the jet of 40 to 50 knots. And for Wednesday, we have mean winds of 70 knots or so. Then the Saturday event, we already have mean winds of 50 to 70 knots. Here's the ensembles. So we're going to check all the ones that agree with that event. So member 1, member 2, member 5, member 6, member 7, member 8, member 10, member 14, that might be the GFS. Member 20, looks like 19, 17, 16, 11, 15. So there are a majority of the GEFS ensembles that do agree. So here is the mean temperature at 850 millibars. And so based off the ensembles at this point, you'd have a warm sector kind of like this. Convective wise, the probability for 1,000 cape or higher. There's a pretty high probability across Louisiana at this point. Now let's go back further. And let's go for the Sunday event. So it's pretty high that you'll see 1,000 cape across Texas there. They're saying 80% or so. And then for Tuesday, around 20-25%. And then Wednesday, it looks like around 40% or so. Let's go back to Wednesday. Yeah, 40%, 50% in Louisiana. Varies across the board. And then for Thursday, 20 to 40% again. Friday, 20 to 40. Saturday, a little bit higher. And then after that point, the moisture looks to back off. So let's look at what the ensembles show for kind of precipitation type wise. So they're all agreeing. Let's go back. So they're all agreeing that the Midwest is now going to see rain with that Tuesday event, most likely for them, or with Sunday, and then freezing precipitation. Let's see what they agree on. So for that Wednesday event, we have most of them agreeing on the Dixie event. Thursday again. Saturday. This one, this one, this one, this one. Most of them agree with the Dixie event again on the 11th, but that is very far out and will change again. Now that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.